Hello and welcome back to the program. I am once again your host Joe, and this week we watched 1985's Silverado, which actually made it onto the list for the hilarious reason of I needed a movie with a color in the title. Better luck next to your Lone Wolf and Cub, White Heaven and Hell. It's written and directed by Mark and Lawrence Kasdan. It's a real love letter to the genre, which doesn't get everything right, but it's easy to make some mistakes when your heart's leading more than your head. It's got a star-studded cast, including Kevin Kline, Scott Glenn, Danny Glover, Kevin Costner, Jeff Goldblum, and returning to the channel, you know her from the Linguini incident.
The famous Linguini incident.
The Linguini incident!
It's Rosanna Arquette. The first four characters there are basically Hollywood-style cowboys who have a series of chance run-ins along the way, and wind up allying against a crooked sheriff who wants most of them dead for a variety of reasons, including racism. Not something that gets covered in most westerns, which I feel might make this count as kind of a revisionist western, which, as I mentioned way back when I talked about The Quick and the Dead, is kind of like a western that dissects the genre somewhat. And that's what this does here. It examines an issue of the real Wild West in terms of a western film.
You worked in Blazing Saddles? Oh, yeah. That's good.
So right off the bat, I have to mention that this film has one hell of a cold open. It's dead silent for like the first minute or so. Then there's a shootout, still zero dialogue, and then I'm like 6.5 minutes in. And then somebody starts talking. Honest to God, I had no idea I was watching the French dub until Kevin Kline said something.
Ravi de te connaître.
I also realized I've seen one of the early scenes from this film in a YouTube short before. Kevin Kline, wearing Old West long johns, sees someone he desperately needs to shoot. He goes to a store and he's hurriedly trying to buy a gun, picking them up, checking the action, and the shopkeeper's like, "You can't afford that, you can't afford that, you cannot afford that." He's like, "Well, what does this get me?" And he hands him like a crappy gun. He walks out, and he's just standing there in the street as this other guy sees him and starts taking shots, and he's just fiddling with the gun, levels it, boom, takes the guy out in one hit. Super entertaining, great idea for a scene. No notes on that one, Kasdan brothers. I loved it. And this is something that I feel is kind of maybe emblematic of the film as a whole. The action scenes are super fun. Very over-the-top, action schlocky type stuff. But that's westerns. You can't watch an Avengers movie and say, well, Iron Man couldn't actually fly like that. Why does he have lasers for hands? You can't watch a western and say, how come the bad guys keep missing? It's just supposed to be entertaining. Most of the acting is pretty good, but I do feel a little bad for saying that Kevin Costner's terrible acting kinda took me out of the film a little bit, because it really did. But at the same time, Jeff Goldblum's bad acting was also on full display, and I loved it. So I feel a little bit hypocritical holding it against him. Like, Kevin Costner didn't feel cowboy, you know? He acted like young Kevin Costner, like he always does. If anything, he felt like the Chuckwagon Cook, if anything. He's dopey and he's excitable, he's stupid, he gets in over his head. I don't know, maybe it's an issue of him in, like, period pieces. Because I know there's similar complaints about his role in Robin Hood.
Unlike some other Robin Hoods, I can speak with an English accent.
God, and I mentioned Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum, let me say, it felt like he was in the film just for the sake of having him in the film. His character basically didn't do anything. He showed up in one scene and he said, "Hey, I'm looking for work. Can I get into your movie?" And the corrupt sheriff of the town hired him for his casino. He just said, "Yeah, sure, we need a new dealer. Come on in." And then he didn't really do anything. He walked into a few scenes. It was implied that he knew Danny Glover's sister somehow. She works adjacent to the casino, we'll say. It's an entertainment facility. Cards and women, you know? And so it gave him sort of a hook for when we went back to deal with her, but like, yeah, he didn't do a whole lot overall. You didn't even need to have that character. You didn't need to have either of those characters. Speaking of bad acting, Rosanna Arquette. Okay, she had the same problem as Jeff Goldblum and Kevin Costner. Felt wrong for a period piece. She's someone I usually don't consider to be a bad actor, but I guess this is a weakness of hers. Honestly, every side plot where one of the protagonists was dealing with a woman felt like another moving part in a crowded script. None of them felt like they got a particularly good payoff. Danny Glover's sister seemed to only exist to make conflict with Jeff Goldblum happen, for instance. I still don't know why Rosanna Arquette's character was even there. Now, as always, the question is, would I recommend this film? My answer is, if you're looking for a love letter to the genre with a few wrinkles, absolutely yes. It's not perfect, it's entertaining, it's action schlock, sometimes that's what you want. You know, it's chicken soup for the soul. That might be a little strong, but it's entertaining, you know? And hey, speaking of watching something, what are we going to watch this week? 3, 2, 1, and go! Alright, they're off. They are going... Excuse, okay. Down into the ramp. That was weird. Throwdown is out front, followed by Altered States, followed by Moonstruck and Executioners. Executioners has fallen back a little bit. They're going into... the Grinder. Okay, Grinder does not catch things too badly. They're getting out through there pretty quickly. Throwdown is still out front, almost tied with Altered States. Over there on the other side is a mess. Targets is out front now. Targets, followed by Alexander Nevsky, Moonstruck, Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai. 2 Tons of Turquoise to Taos Tonight is over there on the other side. I love these things. I've seen them use so little, but they're interesting. Targets out front, followed by The Hidden Fortress and Moonstruck, and a Portrait of a Lady on Fire. We go down through the spinning thing here. Moonstruck and Targets getting into the spinner first. No waiting for them. Everything else is bunching up there and going into the second window. Targets and Moonstruck. Interesting picks. I don't remember what Targets is about, but Moonstruck has Nicolas Cage and Cher. That could be fun. Down the skinny ramp, it's single file for the time being, which means Targets gets to be out front. Skinny ramp? Yeah, this track is so skinny that they can't possibly pass, which means they're going to be stuck like that. So are all those guys. Oh, wow. Okay, Target is out front. Hit the speed boost, and hitting the bollards, which gives Moonstruck a chance to eke past just a little. Targets slowed way down. Moonstruck, bound is flown off. Other things have a chance to maybe flip through, but no. Moonstruck out front, Alexander Nevsky and Sorcerer way out of there. Moonstruck hit the speed up, but then just sort of beefed it on the corner, which is fine. Nothing else is coming along to capitalize. Here comes Executioners. Can it do better? Only mildly. Jigoku is going over the other side, and Persona. Moonstruck is now picking up its speed, though. This will be interesting. This will be interesting. Moonstruck is down first. Okay. Hits the speed. Does it make an efficient use of it? Kind of. Into the loop. The loop then loops back around the other way. Okay. Moonstruck followed closely by Executioners and Jigoku. But it's looking like it's probably a foregone conclusion at this point as they round the asteroid and go down, and it is Moonstruck first sticking the landing, followed by Executioners, Jigoku, 2 Tons of Turquoise to Taos Tonight, and Persona. Never mind, 2 Tons of Turquoise to Taos Tonight flew off the edge, as did Mr. Vampire. Alright, Devi, The Hidden Fortress, Written on the Wind, Fantastic Planet, Targets, Pink Flamingos. Here comes A Safe Place, there's The Grifters, The Day Trippers, Ghost Dog, Francis Ha, Les Samurai, Anatomy of a Murder, Godzilla, To Die For. Here comes Altered States, The French Dispatch at 8.5, Invention for Destruction, which is going to be interesting when that comes out, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Network, A Hard Day's Night, Throwdown. You were way out front, what happened to you? Eyes Without a Face, Bringing Up Baby, The Battle of Algiers going around the loop, Mr. Arkadin coming down the ramp. Can you beat the fire? I think Bringing Up Baby is, Battle of Algiers has gone down in flames. Mr. Arkadin, you are not going to make it either. Alright, it's official. Our winner, Moonstruck. Alright, let's pull that up on the list and see why it's here. Moonstruck, Moonstruck. Where are you hiding on my spreadsheet? There you are. Moonstruck, number 18 on my list. It's on from 1987. It's on there because I needed something from the 1980s, and I'd been a little bit curious about early Nicolas Cage. It's directed by Norman Jewison. It's a romantic comedy, 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb, 102 minutes long. I am officially interested. Let me just add that. Moonstruck. Alright. Yeah, I will be, like I said, I'll be excited to see that. Cher's fabulous. Nicolas Cage is amusing. I know I complained about bad acting in the movie for this week. Let's see what I think of bad acting in the movie for next week.